guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, and for learning German with me. Today we have a vocabulary session. After learning so much grammar, I think it's time to do something of same importance, but a little more chill. So let's start. The topic today is again Einkauf, part 2. And this time we have other categories. Let's go to the first one on the left. Buchladen is the bookstore. And as we learned before, it is male, der Laden, das Buch. And if we have a long word made out of two nouns, we always have the noun at the end, which gives us the article of the whole word. So in this case, Buchladen, bookstore, is male. Let's read the words here. Die Zeitung, das Magazin, die Postkarte, die Landkarte. So how do we say, if we enter a store, a bookstore, do you have postcards? If we want to address the person, we have to do it in a polite way, of course, because we don't know the person who's selling. And we ask, haben Sie Postkarten? Of course, I don't have to tell you, it's even more polite to greet someone before we ask. So, guten Tag, hello. Haben Sie Postkarten? Do you have postcards? Another way to ask for something without addressing someone is with this nice way, gibt es. Gibt es means is there. It's hard to translate in English. In Spanish or in other languages, it's easier. This is why I find it so interesting to know where you guys are from. And if you have something similar in your language, you can leave it in the comments below if you want. So, gibt es, it's literally it exists, or does it exist, or is it here, is it there? In this case, we would say, guten Tag, of course. Gibt es hier Postkarten? So, are postcards available here? This is how you can ask. And another way, of course, where are your postcards? You can say, to switch it up, Entschuldigung, excuse me, wo sind die Postkarten? Where are the postcards? Or you can also say, wo sind Ihre Postkarten? Where are your postcards? Depends on what the store is and what's easier for your mouth to say, right? So, those are the ways you can ask. As you can see, similar as with the word Laden, the store, we also have postcard and map. Both is with Karte. Die Karte, female, can be added to many words. I give you some other examples because we want to evaluate a little bit your vocabulary. So we have, for example, die Spielkarte. This means the game card, like a card you use for poker or whatever, like a game card. Die Eintrittskarte, the entrance card, like the ticket for a concert or for a museum or for something. But we can also say die Museumskarte, die Theaterkarte, die Kinokarte, so many options. It's really for entrance of a place you have to pay for. So, and as you can see, it's always female, no matter what you put in front, because the card is female. Everything else or every combination with it will be female as well. Next one is Kindergeschäft. Das Geschäft, neutral. So altogether it is das Kindergeschäft. Translation is actually a kid's store, but it could also be a toy store. Speaking of, toy means Spielzeug. Das Spielzeug. So we can also say das Spielzeuggeschäft. So we can again put in front so many things, actually everything that's buyable. So let's read. Das Spielzeug, die Puppe, der Drachen, der Luftballon, der Teddybär, die Windel. I want to give you a little grammar thing or a little pattern if you want to say to play with something. Since we're talking about toys, it is mit and it needs dative because of the mit. And then we have spielen. For example, mit dem Spielzeug spielen. You can also say mit der Puppe spielen, to play with the doll. So it needs dative if you say it like that. If you want to play with a kite, you cannot do it with this verb. You have to let him in the air. This one is a little longer. Einen Drachen steigen lassen. Actually, it means to let a kite go up. And you can see immediately, especially if you watched my videos about grammar and accusative, that this one is accusative here. Einen Drachen. For the diapers, we have many verbs we can use. We can say Windeln tragen, to wear. Windeln wechseln, to change. Next one is Kosmetik. It's female. Die Kosmetik. This is one of the words that don't have quite a plural, to be honest. If you want to make it plural, we should say die, plural of course, die Kosmetikprodukte. The products will make it definitely a plural of cosmetics. So let's read. Die Creme, der Lippenstift, das Parfüm, das Parfüm, das Puder, das Deo, or das Deodorant. Here we have some interesting combinations we can play with a little bit because I want to give you two verbs. The first one is tragen and the other one is auftragen. One is to wear something. For example, sie trägt Lippenstift. She wears lipstick. But if you say sie trägt Lippenstift auf, it means to put on lipstick. This is a little difference. We have here a separable verb. You can check out my other videos on that if you're not familiar with it. And you can really see how it makes a difference to wear something or to put it on at this very moment. We can say it also about deodorant, about powder, everything like that. Er trägt kein Deo. For example, he doesn't wear deodorant. And of course, other verbs we can use is, for example, benutzen, to use. Benutzen, to use deodorant, to use perfume, cologne, and so on. So how do we say, do you wear perfume? Or, sorry, in English, do you wear cologne? It would be, trägst du Parfüm? And I want to give you another one, which is also, well, quite important, to smell. Riechen. This is a little tricky. I give you an example. Sie riecht schlecht. Actually, it means she smells bad. So, what is now the issue? Does she smell a little bit like sweat or something unpleasant? Or is her nose maybe not as good and she doesn't smell good? She cannot smell. It can mean both. So, if you talk about someone, you have to be a little careful. If you talk about a thing, it's definitely sure that you mean it smells good or not so good. For example, die Sonnencreme riecht gut. The sun cream or the sun lotion smells good. Now we are sure that we mean this kind of meaning of smelling pleasant. If we say to someone, when we say du riechst aber gut, we definitely mean a really nice and pleasant scent. You're smelling nice today, right? If you hug your friend for some reason and he wears or she wears something pleasant, you can say, oh, you smell well, you smell good. Du riechst aber gut. And we go to the last one for today. Hygieneprodukte, it's plural. And here we have Produkte, as I told you before, like Kosmetikprodukte, Hygieneprodukte. As you can see, with these little words, you can make super interesting and useful combinations. So let's read. Die Seife, die Zahnpasta, Die Zahnbürste, das Toilettenpapier. Die Seife, of course, we know what it means, the soap. Zahnpasta, some people also say it with an E at the end. They say Zahnpaste. Both is acceptable. Bürste, we had before, it means the brush. So we can also say die Haarbürste, so the hairbrush. Die Toilettenbürste, the toilet brush, for example. And the next one, das Toilettenpapier, TP. Again, we have here Papier, the paper, the toilet. It is quite self-explaining. And with Papier, I could give you also like a dozen examples. We can use it with other combinations. For example, das Briefpapier, paper for writing a letter, or das Bastelpapier, paper for doing crafts and doing like creative stuff. So you can see the possibilities are out there. You just have to combine them and play a little bit with the words. This is it for today. I hope you learned something new. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and support my little channel. I would really love that. I see you next time. Until then, have a good week. Bye.